Welcome to the making of Little Shop of Horrors for ISB School in Bangkok. Um, these were some notes I made after our initial meeting, and a very tiny prototype to try out my ideas. I was being overly ambitious. Um, if you know the story of this man-eating plant, in the film there are four sizes of it, and I was trying to see if I can combine 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Luckily, the rights to the play also came with this awesome How to Audrey II. And it was a really great source for, um, well, this is, for example, the pattern shape suggested, many ideas there. And I was able to also adapt mine, like starting from paper mache. I did a thin one, and then I reinforced it, and I used gauze and plaster to cast, if you will, that first layer of the paper mache. And I used also paper towels to minimize, dry paper towels to do the stuffing and shape the lips of the doll. This is the first Audrey I made that I was hoping I could use for 1 and 2. And she ended up being only Audrey II. There she was again saying hello. Here I'm in one of the first rounds, creating a bunch of tubular structures from t-shirt material that eventually became roots that I dyed. Thank you so much to Kun Pim, the set designer, for giving me a hand with all the tools and shaping of the first half of the big Audrey. This became Audrey number 4, the biggest one. So I kind of started with her first. I knew that would be the biggest challenge. The benefit of plastic is shown here, and it's very moldable with the heat. I got to use a heating gun and all my limbs to help shape the pieces. So I did, besides the guideline that came with the rights, I did a lot of research online. There's many creators who have tried many different ways. I did see other PVC piping being used, and almost to create a skeleton, if you will. Many different ways to cover up. The book had suggested, I think it's also used in construction, it's this spray-on sponge, which is very lightweight. I chose to cover up and use, again, a lot of plastic bags, since I saw the benefits of it while making the Moana costumes. Plastic bags, I find, are really great also when you need to stuff very narrow bits. Imagine making a glove and stuffing the fingers. You'll see later on the flower pieces that are used for the blooms that they refer to at the end of the play. Had a very narrow channel. Also the leaves had I created a track so that the leaves would seem more 3D, and we stuffed the edge to stand out more. So here is finally the skeleton bottom part of the big Audrey, and here she is in her grandness, testing how I can make it open, close, making sure how to keep it the light as possible. As you can imagine, the weight just kept adding on. I got a chance to fit the puppeteer actor, and I really padded. Um, I created almost like a backpack shoulder support that was able to open the the top. Here I'm continuing with the baby Audrey, realizing that after all, I would have to make all four. Um, my hypothesis was not functional. So I used a smaller mold, and here I am um, topping off the paper mache layer with plaster, and then shaping the lips, and we'll see her a little bit later on. I got some more piping. Now I am working on Audrey number 3. Audrey number 3 is in the booklet. It suggests that a puppeteer is sitting in a large pot, and with the option for it to stand and appear the plant growing. Um, there were also 2 puppeteers standing behind this one that would be holding extensions of roots to make it appear grandier. Um, I was very grateful. Hi, Danielle. I had gone to Chinatown, and we were surprised by a parade and got to see the Chinese dragon dancers. And I'm like, oh, there's something here. So I did a lot of research on how those are made, and I combined some of these techniques, and I came up with this mechanism to have the main puppeteer be able to hold on to this Audrey over the head, around the shoulders, and have a separate puppeteer from behind be the operating hands to make it appear to talk, because there was a lot of dialogue and monologue from the plant. It talked a lot. So this is finishing up and using all the scraps to, again, help to make a skeleton-like structure that I will eventually cover. And there were a lot of parts that I still had to fill in to shape the curvature. And again, a bag of bags, a lot of bags. You'll see some in the future. I'll take a moment here to say thank you to all the Bangkok recycling community members that reached out, and you have no idea, I use every piece of plastic that you send over. I think you'll be able to see in the video later, I was not as successful from reaching the community around the school for this, but I did find my way to the recycling center of the school and had plenty of shredded paper. It just added a bit more weight, but it was doable. That process reminded me a lot of my Ecuadorian background in growing up. And for New Year's Eve, we have a celebration where we make a stuffed doll representing the old year, the old man, and we burn it at midnight, saying bye-bye, and may it all be gone with the fire into ashes. So here, continuing, this is Audrey number 2, which is a marionette, not a marionette, pardon, it's a puppet for a ventriloquist act. And this is my model. Thank you, Ms. Meow. I also researched on the best way to recreate a hand without having to buy one, and this is just latex glue. So it worked out great. It even scared the children in the after-school class. And so now I use this plastic string. I was so amazed that only one spool covered this and the ginormous Audrey. Hi, Miss Pim. And what I did was weave it in between the skeleton, and I secured it with a glue gun. Here are both of them, to have a way so that when I laid over the fabrics, it would create the shape. I also used plastic bags in between the skeletons and the skin to make the muscles and the body mass. This was my first take on Audrey #3. In our original meeting, we discussed with Mr. Anthony maybe giving the puppets a fabric finishing, so that they look more like friendlier rather than just painting. So this was the first take. I ended up recovering it and making it a bit more green. This was my first reference, and it turned out a little too pink. Yes, I was shocked at what came. This is the taking over the ginormous monster. I can't believe I made this happen, to be honest, sometimes. But I was just sharing this with my design students at the Institute, and, perseverance and design is finding solutions. So thank you. That was Travis there who helped me support the exit of the actors in the back. And, everything took time and trial to be sure everything inside was neat before covering, because there was no way back. Taking a break here, those first roots that I was stitching at the beginning, I don't know if a month had passed, finally dye them, and look how quickly that bag is getting empty. That's all shredded paper. And I'm making the roots here in my makeshift sewing space, machine on a stool. Here are the roots, and now that the big Audrey was covered up, here is the inside part. I started in first and worked my way out. This was a way to create a window for the puppeteer so they can see into the audience, but they cannot be seen. A lot of neck ache looking up. All the inside had to be hand tucked. So this was a bit time consuming. But it was really great because you really started to feel the concave of being inside a mouth. And these are the slits. I created curtains so that the actors could escape from the back. We'll have a good look at everything at the end. And finally, getting to cover up the outer layer. And by this point, we were sure we wanted to go with a more overall green feel for the plant and make it look more monstery. And poor Audrey, she kept moving around, which was great because that was a way to really test that it was all being held together properly. These are the ginormous leaves. I recreated that first pattern, and look at those roots to give the bigger Audreys some greenery leaves. I tried to transition the colors to have some gradation, and I hope this was achieved. I think those who maybe had more of a side view. This is Audrey III, shared by the director, just to see how it was operating and how the green leaves would hang. A sample of one of the many bags that was sent to me. And voila, the finished lady after many practices and 3 days of performance. Thank you so much uh, to Mr. Anthony for allowing this showcase of some of the costume pieces. And this is Audrey III with some body parts and roots underneath with its pod. These are going in reverse. This is showcasing at the ISB gallery. This is the jacket. This is the fake hand there. I originally had put real makeup, but I didn't find a good spray to set it. So I went in with acrylic. And baby Audrey, I also, as the booklet suggested, tried to go lighter in the colors to a more dark and deeper tone. So here is the wonderful cast. Bravo to all of you for an outstanding performance. Oh, there's baby Audrey on the desk next to the register, and Audrey number 3 in the back with the puppeteers hiding, and a lovely view of the main actors here with Audrey 4 in the back. A pleasure, and Soledad Designs, finding creative solutions. Thank you so much.